The Air Conservation Commission meeting, March 28th, 2019. Confirmation of agenda.
As it stands.
Motion to approve agenda is written.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting minutes.
We have two sets, one will do it.
Any comments? Questions?
Beautifully written as always.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good, very detailed.
Thank goodness.
Bonnie, read them?
I did, but since I was not at the meeting last week,
You have to abstain.
I have to abstain.
Well,
Yeah.
you don't actually,
Do you have?
you see, they don't actually have to.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter to me.
But you can
What?
Emotion.
make a motion to move,
Make motion, so
or
moved.
move, so move.
Sorry, second. Forgot.
All in favor?
Aye.
Announcements?
This is kind of an announcement. It's the presentation of a fantastic bunch of materials that Marianne Stoddard brought into the office about forest resiliency and Chapter 61 programs and Your Land, Your Legacy. So we have most of these in the office, so if anyone would like to read these, I'm happy to pass them along. Any takers? I'll pass them around and you can just sort of pick and choose what you would like. That's pretty much the only announcement.
I wanted to see this one real quick, so
Any accounts
pass those
payable?
while I
Yes.
Pretty, huh?
Yeah, nicely done.
So I reminded Paul that he should send us an invoice and he did.
Invoice. Ecotech Incorporated, charges through 3/24/19. Principal Environmental Scientist, $130 an hour. Times how many hours? Oh, 19 hours. $2,470.
$2,470.
244 miles at 54 cents. 131.76.
131.76.
Total $2,601.76. Motion to pay.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion, question? The site evaluation, review and comment, remediation data, miscellaneous conversations and email, communications with Conservation Commission agent, Mass DEP, de-icing salt review and comment, and site inspection reports.
All seemed very clear and
Yes,
accounted for.
yes, absolutely.
All in favor?
Aye.
Which was the 19 hours at $130 an hour,
Yes,
244 miles at 54 cents an hour.
that's right.
So while that one's going around, we have the invoice from Kim Becker for our sign design.
How many signs do we end up ordering?
100.
That's a good number.
For
Yeah.
$1,000.
Okay.
Yep, and we're gonna go through them like Necco wafers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
That would be very slowly.
It's not bad.
Since like wafers are
We're
horrible.
getting charged for them because it should
Yeah.
include the design costs.
Yeah, So this doesn't include the design cost?
That's just
Just the making, the construction?
Yeah, what we ordered was over $1,000 was Mass Core.
Oh.
It's an actual sign. This
Yeah,
is
yeah.
just the design work.
Oh, I see,
for the
okay,
sign.
okay, yeah, okay.
So, paid Kim Becker $125. Artwork, computer work to design, create, and produce a 6x6-inch sign for wetlands resource beyond this point. 2 colors, orange and forest green, with white as base color.
Okay, so moved.
Second, it's a good price.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then that conservation agent, $2.19 at WB Mason for index cards.
Joanne.
I know.
All right, next,
Just cut up some cereal boxes.
next time, can you just call me, because I have like, I don't know, a couple 10 packs of them that I'll never use, so I'm just gonna go to the dump.
If you're ever getting rid of a pack, I'll take it.
Okay.
Mine is burning low.
Okay, all right, I'll divvy up some packs for,
There we go.
yeah. For Easter, maybe. Jeez.
So, $2.19 to WB Mason.
Oh, you do. Oh, you have to sign this
So
one too.
moved, sorry.
I somehow think I'm the end of the road, except I'm not really.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're in the mood tonight.
They're all sugared up.
Got it?
That's it.
Anybody have anything else? Reimbursements or anything?
Question on reimbursements. Did that go through?
I don't know that I have brought it over yet.
Okay.
Our town accountant's daughter died suddenly and unexpectedly this week.
What's your name?
Like
Danielle
young?
Young.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah. Young adult.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Yeah. So I've been trying to.
Yeah, well, that's absolutely awful.
Yep. And we don't know the details of the arrangements or. Yeah. But everybody's kind of sad.
No kidding.
Yep.
Okay. We would have had a schedule, but I'm sure the audience won't mind.
It's okay?
Audience, do you mind?
Our first public hearing is a request for amendment to order conditions, lot 7 and 8 Littleton Road, DEP file 100-406 and 407.
I have them ready. I think I sent them to you all. So instead of burying the new special conditions in the actual special conditions numbered list, I put them right up front in the findings. And John reviewed them and was fine with what we added. And they are ready to sign, and he is not going to join us this evening.
Just remind me, can you remind us what the special,
Is there a, I can't remember the special conditions. There was a thought I had on the train coming home today, and which I don't think we discussed.
So,
Maybe too late. It's too
I know it's too late, yeah, but I think it.
so I was right in remembering that the rain garden really goes over this far. It's gigantic. And I estimated 28.5 5-foot tall evergreens around this, and John said, well, you know, the surveyor shot every single one of them, and there are 28 of them.
Oh,
Wow.
So that was a pretty good guess.
wow.
How much do I weigh?
Keep them away from me.
Wow.
So the evergreens are going to be divvied out between the lot line here and the silt fence line here.
Mm-hmm,
That's one of the special conditions.
mm-hmm.
Another special condition is that this drain line is going to be discontinued and plugged rather than removing it.
Okay.
Um,
Plugged at the catch basin? Plugged at the catch basin? probably?
I would assume so. I didn't specify and I didn't ask.
Okay,
Yeah, I think he said on the north side of the road.
okay.
Yeah, so right there.
Okay, okay.
And then if this end of the new drain
Uh-huh.
or this second drain needs to be cleaned out, it's to be cleaned out by hand.
Okay.
There's some signs going in behind lot 8, also
Uh-huh.
2 signs on posts,
Uh-huh.
2 of our 100.
Okay,
We're already using them.
okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Also-
Is it too late to comment or to air a concern?
No,
Huh?
go ahead.
Well, accidents happen. There's heavy truck traffic on this road. It's a hill. The visibility is, cars coming out of driveways, cars and trucks going fast on that road. If there ever was an accident and we had a spill of some sort in that area and it ran down that swale into the catch basin, it's going to flow into that water body.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, is there anything that would prevent,
Well,
a substance from getting into?
think of the oil spill at the elementary school.
I
It
know.
would be the same sort
I
of
know.
thing, something delivered directly to a body of water through a pipe. And we know what happened next up there. At least we'd know where it was going to come out.
Yeah. I mean, you could put a hood over the outlet to trap any oil.
Yeah,
Trouble is, it's a mass
that's a
highway.
mass highway thing, right? So we would have to,
And they won't maintain it, and DPW won't maintain it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the argument would be no different from where it was before,
yeah,
and they would have done the same thing,
yeah. I mean, is Mass DOT, are they taking the same steps as our DPW in terms of get the
Stormwater.
the stormwater kind of catch basin kind of alternative, I mean, I don't know if they're planning on anything like that, but maybe we could write a letter and just ask, if they're in the process of putting them in, could this be on the top of their list? It's just a request, maybe.
Yeah, don't think it would fit in with this, these amendments, just because, no, that's not,
No, I know, we'd have to,
not their issue.
we'd have to bring it up probably at a subsequent meeting, right?
Well, or,
We could ask DPW if they know.
yeah,
and see what they
but I
say.
don't think it would be within the purview of John Boardman's
No,
project to
no.
fix the
Yeah.
MassDOT.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, it's a good thought, and I think there's no love lost between DPW and MassDOT.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
What did John say he was gonna do around that one on the east side there?
He's
I mean,
putting
it says,
some protection while
Yeah.
it's being dug, while the digging is happening.
but he thought that was only going to be a single day too. so-
Temporary, yeah.
George, I think if you go to the maybe 4 pages into that stack of paper, you might be at special conditions. And the findings would be maybe the second paragraph. And it's the last few sentences that are
removal of the rain garden per Mass DOT requirement, abandonment and plugging of the drain from a catch basin in Route 2A feeding the rain garden. Construction of a grass swale is shown in the plan. Additional conditions will include replanting the 28 existing evergreens. Yeah.
Did that mention signs?
I think it does mention sign, just evergreens along the lot line and the erosion control line.
Don't we have to make a decision on?
Well, actually, you know what, that one's, you're reading lot 7, so lot 8 is slightly different, and it talks about the trees along the erosion control line and signs.
I think we have to make our own decision on signs on posts or those short little ones that he had suggested.
This says signs on posts.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think, Mark, your comment on, wow, those are really nice little tiny, close to the
Yeah.
ground and far away from people's eyeballs
Yeah,
signs.
Yeah.
Kick some dirt on top of that thing.
yeah. Hit it with a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments? Motion to, let's see, to sign the order of conditions for Lot 7 Littleton Road and close the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Don't forget to let me sign.
I was just thinking that, thank you. Pass it to Jess, pass it to Jess.
Yeah, you know how she can be.
I know how she can be.
There's trouble.
I'm just gonna give her another hard candy, everything will be fine.
Do you want something, Jay?
I was looking for a mute button on the microphone.
John earlier said he knew how to handle my microphone and turned it away. What is it? Did you guys concur?
How's that?
Okay, motion to approve the order of conditions for Lot 8 Littleton Road and close the public hearing.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
When did we get the screen in the back?
It's been there for a little while, I just figured out how to turn it on.
Oh. Oh, so it's been off
Mm-hmm.
since for, okay.
It's probably been there for a couple months, maybe?
Oh my goodness, I guess I just didn't notice it because it wasn't on.
Yeah.
Big black thing on the wall.
Yeah,
This way George doesn't have to
yeah. Sure.
be an
Nice,
owl.
George.
All you have to do is squint.
Right.
You can see that there.
Yeah, it's, you know, the essence of a plan,
That's
not
right.
just, yeah. Yep.
All right, our next public hearing is a notice of intent, continued, 10 Fox Run Drive, DEP file 100-0435. So we're continuing this to schedule a site walk.
believe the ground is now pretty clear.
Yeah.
Yep.
People available this Saturday?
I don't think I am.
And I'm not.
I'd rather not.
Okay. Next
I just said I'd
Saturday.
rather not.
Next Saturday is good for me.
Next Saturday, I think so.
I
That'd
think
be
so.
okay.
Pretty sure. What's that date?
Must be about April
It would be the 6th.
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 6th, yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
All right. 9 a.m.
So I got a note from Deschênes saying that he, at Steve's request, I guess, went and refreshed all the wetland flags and moved a few. And I asked Steve today if the lot corners could be staked by Saturday. He said, already done.
Or the house corners.
Yep.
And Steve had said a year or so ago, town manager and town council signed something that relinquished the town's, any town interest in that corner lot, since it had been refused by town meeting twice, apparently. So they signed something that said you're free to develop. Can we ask to see a copy of that?
We could.
Just to see.
Yep.
Do you know the reason for the non-acceptance from the town at that time? Was there some,
Way back, I think, you didn't have connection to conservation land behind it. That was an EP, but in between this lot and the community dog park, that parcel came to the town from EPA fine.
that was post offer or post town meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I didn't remember it had been offered twice. I maybe vaguely do, but I guess
Yeah.
nobody had interest then. It's too bad, because now we do have little connections to it.
Yeah.
Well, I will ask.
Just for our records, and
Yeah, sure.
if we get any complaints from residents, like me. Similar to me.
There's no one like you.
I know.
Okay, motion to continue the hearing to April 11th.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next is the discussion of the Kohler Place conservation restriction.
So in your packet, you should find tiny, tiny, tiny printed pages that Miss Deanne Merrill at Natural Heritage, I think she's at Natural Heritage, has made some comments that attempt to reconcile all the things that have kind of gotten out of alignment and are no longer consistent as this thing has gone back and forth between attorneys. So her additions are in red and her deletions are crossed out in green. So I think her first comment is at the bottom of page 4.
Oh, so she's adding more.
Yeah. I thought her comment on page 27 that says the CR reserves your right but does not confer a permit.
Page what's that? What?
7.
Seven?
Yep.
And then, can we go back to page 6 first? She had a comment here. On yours.
This one that she just crossed out.
Yeah, I think she just combined it into the one on 4, right?
Yeah, she moved it. And
Thank you for that. Oh, okay, different pages.
Different pages. So did you print that out at home?
I do believe I did.
Okay, so if you look at the one that I gave you, we'll be on the same page. So this one. All right.
I'm up with you.
Yeah, so the big bubble on the right.
Okay. No, I just wanted to go, can we go back to the one on page 4? I guess
Sure.
I'm not sure
I did not follow that one, honestly. It's,
well, so you have to go back to page 3, right at the bottom. So this is saying this is prohibited,
Yeah.
right? So this is saying
Prohibited.
you can't subdivide except here.
Right.
Whereas the next section, which is on page 5, which is the reserve rights, which would basically be saying what you could do. I guess I don't like the fact that you put the except in there. I'd rather it be, you can't do this, and then in the other section, you can do this. So she kind of intermingled them, and I guess instead of taking it out as it shows on page 6, to me, that makes it a little confusing.
Although on the other hand, sometimes if you can't do it, but you have an exception, having them paired together somewhere.
Well, as opposed to actually spelling it out here, I'd rather it say, except as noted in section B, number blah, 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 and then have it explained there, because here it's kind of buried in there,
Yeah.
and I'm assuming the grantor probably wanted it kind of clear, not buried,
Not buried.
clearly identified, right? So, I mean, I guess I'd ask if that could be adjusted.
Got that.
sure. So basically,
I guess,
put this back where it came from.
I think so,
And
yes.
maybe refer to,
Or maybe have it say, except as noted in, what is that?
So it'd
8.
be B8, right?
Except.
BVIII.
VIII dot I.
Dot, yeah, it is a dot, isn't it?
What do you all think about that?
I mean, does this statement just mean that, just it's like a renaming thing? Like renaming, like parcel XX-4 to lot 4, because is it just a renaming?
And I sort of don't think that this part is part of our purview either. I mean, do we, on the subdividing?
I don't know.
I think that is more between them and the state. You can suggest though.
So this seems a little bit like, for the purposes of conveying parcel XX4 to lot 4, so it sounds to me like they could, there's a parcel that they could subdivide and then add to the parcels on either side of it. That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Are lot 4 and lot 3 outside of this area? I guess I don't quite remember.
I would have to look up the plan, and I don't know that I have the plan with me.
Oh, actually, yeah, I do have my folder here. Let me see.
Let's see. I do. Alright, so the plan. Alright, so conveying parcel XX4, which is the first house lot on the left as you're coming into Holder Place. Conveying that's to lot 4. But I don't see a lot 4. XX1, which includes parcels XX3 and XX4. That's the conservation restriction. And then there's XX3, which is somebody's house lot, XX4, which is somebody's house lot. And there's lot 1. And it looks like AJ's lot doesn't have a lot number. So I can pass this around if you want to. So here's XX4, XX3, lot 4, lot 2, XX1, lot 1.
Yeah.
AJ's lot.
The original,
That's
the original that I have from before, there's no mention of the lots, it's just subdivision or conveyance of a part or portion of the premises alone, or division or subdivision of the premises.
But is it in section B there, in the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's in section...
Yeah.
No, I'm saying the lot designation is in the next section, right?
Oh.
What they can do.
In the original,
Yeah, so it'd be
reserved,
B8,
yes,
right?
reserved rights in the premises, right, so
Yes.
it's basically, they're saying,
If you go to the next page, I think.
yeah, so it's basically with prior written permission of the grantee and division after consultation with, and consistent with the advice of a professional biologist to ensure such use will not be detrimental to any state listed species or wildlife, the erection and maintenance of site pervious, non-enclosing wildlife friendly fences such as, well, that's basically blah, blah, blah. But this will not impair the rights of lots 1, 2, 3, and 4. But that's more like fencing and boundary. I don't see any,
Yeah, you gotta go to 8,
I gotta go to 8.
item 8, on page 6. There's your lots identified again.
Oh, the right to subdivide and convey the premises no more than 2 times, only for the purpose of conveying parcel XX4 to lot 4 and parcel XX3 to lot 3 is shown on the plan. The right to convey the premises in its entirety.
But we don't have a plan that shows lots designated that way. I've got, here's another plan. This must be the pre-subdivision plan. I just don't know what they're getting at here. Why does this even matter?
And have you ever been there? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
is it like,
Sure.
this is the end of the property based on the parcel, and it's like, yeah, we'd like to maybe have to those trees kind of thing? Is it one of those sort of?
It's hard to tell without.
I don't know, I've never been there.
Yeah. Is it more
That's what it sounds like to me.
Is it just more
this
being
is-
able to go
This must have been.
to like a registry and this, like, and changing lot lines or something? Like say two neighbors, one neighbor wanted a little more land, and the next neighbor wanted
Well,
to,
if you look at the plan,
you know, change the lot line.
what's seen for here, and X63 and X64 are here. So I think what they're talking about is if this person wants to buy this land,
Right.
this person wants to buy that land,
Okay,
then we can do that.
okay.
But not more than twice.
Right.
Well, I think they're saying twice because it's each parcel, right?
I don't know. Subdivide not more than twice.
Yeah, the right to subdivide and convey, because they're talking about the premise, the whole thing, right? So you
Maybe.
could subdivide it for each of those situations, and that's the not more than twice, right?
All right.
So it couldn't say go to the person who owns the
Clear as
land
mud.
behind.
Yeah, yeah. But it's still in conservation restriction, but so it's, you can buy it, but you're not able to do anything.
Right.
With it,
Right.
can't build on it.
And it's probably one of those situations where these people were probably interested, and they're saying, well, like you just said, it's gonna be conservation restriction, no one's gonna be really able to do anything there anyways. And they're like, well, but before you go and just not allow us to do that, because maybe that was in their original agreement, right? That they wanted potentially to do that. Once this goes through, that probably more than likely
Yeah.
make them happy, and it'll never happen.
Yeah,
But
just
who
legal
knows?
language, yeah, yeah.
You need to take land out of conservation restriction, isn't that the state legislature?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any issues with it, learning.
I mean, I'm okay with that, because I think, as Bonnie said, it's highly unlikely that's gonna end up happening.
Yeah. Are you okay with keeping it where it is? In the
I just think it's muddy, but as long as the grantor's okay with it,
prohibited uses?
you know, it's fine. Maybe she purposely put it there, so that it was buried.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she put it there so that you didn't then have to go looking for it or come upon it by accident in the next section. It's subdivision except. You can do this except.
Right.
Yeah, right, right.
Yeah,
It's
because
a little
sometimes if you
stronger.
say,
Yeah.
sometimes if you say you can't do this, and then you don't know that you could look for the exception elsewhere.
Yeah.
It can go all sorts of ways.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we can move all, we can make section B, A, and A, B. The, I was just thinking of something, sorry. I just lost it. Oh, that's what I was. Doesn't make a difference if the person that owns lot 3 and 4, if they sell to somebody else. Would we want to make this only based on the current owner? So that once that those properties sold, that this would go away,
That what would go with.
this exception.
I think that's getting into terrain
Too much.
that's not our, and it's, yeah,
Yeah.
into, yeah.
Okay. Just throw it out there.
Yeah.
So, top of page 7, then? I think this is really where we had noticed the inconsistencies and,
I don't think it makes sense to take out the and maintain. Why wouldn't, I mean, we'd want it to be maintained so that it doesn't end up,
well, so she then says see below.
Below.
Let's start with number 1 on that first, so.
Clearing, marking, and maintaining of dirt or gravel, but not paved
Yeah, I
path.
think that's a good addition.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the maintain limited vegetation and soil alteration.
Mm-hmm.
What does she mean you may meet you still may need to seek permits, which can.
Didn't finish her sentence.
Well, if you read the next three bubbles down below, she makes a distinction between the rights in the CR, but we still need to grant them permits to do what they want to do. So they have the right to construct a dock, but if they want to go in there and do maintenance, they need to come to us for a permit so that they can exercise their right.
And that will need to be made very clear. And just because it's in the CR, it'll still need permitting.
Yep.
The other, are we done with the first one?
I think the first one's okay.
Okay. Okay. The next one. Yeah, I don't know why she had to take away and maintain.
Well, because the right to construct and the ability to maintain are two different things.
Oh, she puts it down at 3.
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay, that's why, Mark.
Okay, yes. Hadn't gotten there, but thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Any typical necessary for construction of the replacement of the dock. Here's the area where this raises a broader question for us, though. Is the reference to construction of the dock and surrounding beach area, in particular.
Right, so it's assuming,
Surrounding beach area.
it's assuming that there is a beach there, which there is not.
There's not a beach there. This goes back to the whole dock license thing. And eventually we have to come up with a policy about beaches because we have that resident on the other side. You know,
Adding sand, keep adding sand
and
every
wanting
year.
to create a beach
Right.
and you remember him. And so you can't allow like new construction of a beach here
Right,
and say, no, you can't do it there.
right,
It makes-
right,
So
right,
it sort of opens a can of worms.
right. Well, adding a beach area,
I don't have a problem with a limited beach area per se.
Especially since we did one at 231.
And then we did one there as well.
Yeah.
yeah, but there is no beach area
Where?
where AJ has the dock.
No, there was none at 231 Snake Hill either. And there was a degraded area for the other resident who covered up his cattails and stuff.
Yeah,
And then we said, no,
Yeah.
you can't do anything.
right,
So,
right. I mean,
so at some point we need to develop something
I
consistent.
know. I mean, but those areas weren't, you know, conservation restriction areas.
Right.
Right, which
Right.
makes allowing this
So
here even.
Right.
Right, so I mean, I can see if suddenly there's visible construction of a beach there, we'll be getting some phone calls.
Yeah.
And rightly should get some phone calls.
Was the construction of the beach permitted in his in-laws? How did the orders for that project run? Lot to lot or for the whole project? Before me, so I don't know.
The dock permit was just gotten way back before previous owners had specified developing because there was a time limit in which you could get a dock license.
Right.
So
Right.
they just got a general one.
Okay.
And I don't believe it mentioned beach.
And so I know when I first started, Kate and I were inspecting erosion controls around the house construction. So there must be orders on the construction of either the project as a whole or each individual house. And I
But
can,
for a Kohler place?
yeah,
Yeah, but each individual house
Yeah.
wouldn't have had anything to do with
The
the
boundary,
beach.
yeah, the boundaries.
Because the CR's in between. So the dock license was gotten generally, but there was nothing in our orders that pertained to that.
Yeah.
Because that was a whole separate,
Yeah, so the dock license came with the sale of the parcel
yeah.
before the whole development and,
so why are they even talking about a beach in the CR?
Because they want access to the water in the CR.
Right. Which they didn't
that's-
have at the dock.
That has been raised as a question since the CR was first drafted. There isn't a beach there. But that has stayed in and apparently,
Well, so if we want it out, we could take it out. Seems to me. If that's not a place for a beach.
Right, so the way it's written, it says,
yeah, I don't know. I just know that we will get other issues. I know somebody on the other side of that inlet stream had wanted to put a dock in. I mean, that we were sort of kicking that down the road a bit because the state created a situation that's
Right. We can't
a
surmount.
mess.
Yeah.
You know, that was the statement on it. But,
Well,
yeah, I mean, so the area where the dock is, you know, on both sides, I mean, it's a very shallow, sandy area underneath the dock, but it's with the vegetation, it's like, it's marshy, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's
it's a little quicksand.
It's like, you know, it's like marshy.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
no natural kind of beach area where, you know, erosion naturally happens and there's a, you know, a little sandy area with no vegetation, right? There's,
It's a little bit steep, and they'd have to flatten it.
they would have to rip out a
Back
huge
into the-
section of marshy area and probably put in sand to create, you know,
Hi, Calvin.
a beach area.
Yeah.
So I think that as this goes to finalization, a sidewalk to see where they plan to put the 5-foot wide path.
Yep.
And then on-premise discussion of what do you intend to do when you talk about beach. Give us an idea, and you can't do it without going through us. But we don't know, there's a lot we don't know.
Right.
So what's going on?
But yeah, that's something that sidewalk there at some point this spring. And since I'm an abutting neighbor, I'm going to recuse myself.
Well, we can go through her other changes and maybe before we make a decision, we should go on a sidewalk.
Yeah.
Does she, is that,
So that's,
does she have any other, I don't know, maybe that was it?
that's it.
Yeah, this is all just.
I mean, technically, I don't, if we allowed the beach at the inlet stream area for 231 Snake Hill, I don't have a problem with allowing something to happen here.
But he has to ask and
Yes.
file
Right.
and he hasn't.
Right. No, I'm happy with leaving this as is, but just that we put a note that we do have to settle things out some way down the road.
Yep.
It doesn't even mention size, you know, it just says
Right,
surrounding.
Yeah, and it's not
Surrounding
located on a
area.
plan, we have,
What is the surrounding area?
we have no idea. Yeah. we don't
20
know.
foot, 20 or 30 foot.
Yeah.
And as you said,
Well-
that's what the bubble is here, right? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
it says, yes, it provides the right to do it, but they still have to come before exactly what are the plans
Yes.
for,
Mhm.
or
Right.
the extent of the plan, so,
Yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
Judy Schmitz, when she came to see us, said, I think you're allowed to develop something like 10% of your shoreline. There was a figure.
Mhm.
How much, they've got quite a bit though, don't they?
Yeah, depends.
But it's only on parcel one.
Yeah. But at any rate, so there is some guidance we could look into more about if we allow some development, then here's the parameter. So it's not
The
everything.
whole thing.
Well, would it make any sense for me to call AJ and just ask him what his plans are? And tell him that we're working on this, but we really, before we can finalize this on our end, we need to know what his plans are. And we need to do a site walk.
Okay.
Yeah, that way we'll know.
We could potentially try to schedule the site walk on the same day as Fox Run,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
except for me.
Except for you.
I think I should recuse myself on that, just as a.
You can provide call. You can make us,
Yes, I can do that. I can make breakfast.
Oh, I like the sounds of this sidewalk.
Oh, I'm liking this one. Like brunch.
Is that it?
Reasonable.
Can we do that on the 6th?
it's on the 6th.
Yeah, okay.
Assuming permission from AJ.
Yeah, yeah.
I like the up to 3 motorized vehicles round trip per year.
Yep. Yes, so there's some limits, though.
Yeah.
That's not really enforceable.
No.
Is it
Unless you
gonna,
got a nosy neighbor who's gonna count them.
Huh. Do you think he has any nosy neighbors?
You're gonna have to have a special motorized vehicle for a 5-foot path,
Little gator or something.
right?
golf cart?
Yeah,
Golf cart.
yeah. I'm sure his kids have all kinds of little
Yeah.
special motorized vehicles.
Yeah.
Buy a new toy.
Yep.
Is there maintenance of the beach area? But it doesn't seem like it says that. Am I missing it?
They do that at night.
Well, so, because she scratched out the maintain up there at the top of 2, right? But then put the maintain piece in the bottom, but now it just says maintain at the dock, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right,
I'm sorry.
because
And
there's-
the right to use the access area and beach area. Well, yeah, because that's not really saying, I don't know. Do you maintain a beach? Do you? I suppose.
Yes, there's beach refreshment.
Nourishment.
Nourishment.
Nourishment, yes.
Refreshment, nourishment.
Which is gonna require several loads of something going down the
Yeah.
path
Agreed.
and create the most.
Yeah.
Well,
Bring it in by boat.
Well,
Could do
I
that
mean, if you
too.
read the language, it's, replacement of the surrounding beach area. Well, replacement of the surrounding beach area with what?
where'd you see that?
Well, in red. So it's, we start at the beginning of the sentence. The grantor may use any typical equipment necessary, including motorized equipment for the construction, delivery, and if necessary, replacement of the dock and surrounding beach area. I don't really like that sentence. Maybe we should separate out the dock and the beach and
Yeah,
make it
from
two
each other.
separate sentences. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And actually, I don't know why they took out the complies with the dock license.
It's confusing.
Oh, wait, never mind. Because they had, up on the 3rd line down on this section, in compliance with a license issued by DEP, so it's already there.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically section 2 where it talks about construction, make
Yeah.
2 just be about the dock, right? And then create basically a whole new section that talks about the
Yeah,
creation of the beach area.
right. I think the dock should be left separate,
Sure.
because that goes along with the dock license. Right?
You know, let's think about if we separate out and highlight opening a can of worms.
But isn't it a can of worms
It is,
together?
otherwise
Like
bigger
it
can
is?
with live tropical worms that are bigger.
Flesh-eating worms?
I think what she's trying to get at is that he would have to come to us separately for his beach.
Right.
Right.
Because the conservation restriction gives him the right to have his dock, but he still needs a permit to have his beach.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's not completely clear the way this has been,
Mm-hmm. Right. Right.
Somebody wants to go and just write up a suggestion on how this should work and work at it next time.
Okay.
I'm caught up in the bylaw right now, so I'm gonna pass.
I can take that on, since I brought it up. I'll take ownership.
okay.
Anything else on this?
I think that's like very all that pertains to. So,
Make sure you call it here and effort called the beach with a capital B. Bonnie,
Oh, with the
capital B. Here and effort called the beach.
The beach. The beach.
Mr. Moore, what brings you in tonight?
I'm sorry, sir?
What brings you in tonight?
Well, I was talking to Joanne earlier about the, not that I'd quite like to be here, but I mean, about CJ on his application. And I just wanted to be here in case anybody had any questions.
So we've got we could take these things out of order.
That'd be nice.
is this under updates?
This is under new business.
Okay.
Oh, this is,
Yes, the CJ came in this morning with a request for extension of orders at Riley Jane Farm. And it's complicated over there. Come on up to the table.
Big boy.
So, timing, because it's 8 o'clock now, because we still have, the COCs won't take long, right?
No, they're all ready. They just need to be signed.
Okay.
3 of them.
Okay.
The 4th one is,
And then, okay,
yep.
okay. This is my dinner, Calvin. I haven't
It's
eaten-
okay.
I haven't eaten all day. I'm kind of like getting hungry.
It's okay.
Okay, sorry.
looking for fresh meat.
I know there is.
So the complication of having the orders with the developer, CJ in this case, and not the builder, the Gallagher's, is getting complicated. And Mr. Gallagher is getting a little testy, I think.
Over what?
Having none of this be his responsibility.
He doesn't want it as his responsibility.
He doesn't see it as his responsibility. Except the water is on his land, because he bought it.
I think one of the major issues, if I can just jump in here, is that we're dealing with a huge thing called direct diesel. And that's playing roles into National Street and into Pleasant, Trevor Trail.
Diesel direct?
Diesel direct.
Yes.
We have our conference call with our environmental attorney on Monday, which is going to answer some questions. And you know direct diesel will take forever to do anything. So we've got that. So step that aside for a second. Frost is coming out of the ground. Snow's off the ground. That allows us to do a whole lot more. CJ was in there cutting trees. He was in there, the ones that fall down on the fences, and redoing the hay bales and the silt fence. So that's only been allowable in the last couple of days because of snow and frost. A lot of the water issues on Trevor Trail has to do with town water. Let me jump past that. A lot of it has to do with the frost coming out of the ground and the snow, and the landscaping and the grading not being complete. I get it. He gets it. We all get it. We know the water's an issue. We know that trench going around was a temporary fix just to steer it. Onyx has been given the go-ahead by CJ to start and finish Trevor Trail, so we can go for town acceptance. And with that, all these other good things that you people have put on us will be completed. The culverts, the drains, things like that will be done. Then the temporary ditch going to basically disappear. So that's, and I believe Onyx is starting tomorrow. Ish. Mm-hmm. So that's going to take care of all of these problems out there. Going back to the town water, we've got the water that we talked about at this board on 2 Taft Street that comes from the top of Washington. Goes across 2 Taft Street, and I got permission from you, which I've sold a lot, was to take the drain in the front of the lot, put it to the back of the lot. Not a problem because it was not a continuous stream. And goes down between Anderson's house and Doran's house, all the way parallel to Pleasant Street. Dumps over to my other prior property, which is now Gallagher's. 20 so years ago, somebody who I won't name built a little dirt bike trail in there. So it made a banking where the pipe comes out of the ground. That pipe was put in by my brother 20 years ago because we always had water in the cellar at 1 Taft Street. We used to clean that ditch out all the time, so he just decided to put a pipe in and get rid of that problem. So that pipe dumps out above our old horse riding rink.
Right.
And it took basically almost a sharp left to go down under my driveway on Pleasant Street. Then continue right on the edge of the field past Watson's and around. When you and I walked, we didn't see the whole thing. But what's happened is that water has been now diverted to the backyards of those houses, which is causing another whole issue of water.
Which houses?
I don't know, the first 2 lots on the right.
On Trevor Trail.
Okay.
Where the,
So I went up there again and I walked that property, and if you go back up to the pipe and walk out about 20 feet, the water goes straight. You can see that swale all the way down to the piping.
Right.
That's where that water should go, and it's going to take about 12 shovelfuls of this to move it over there. Because when Joanne and I walked, we know that little indentation that's currently handling the water now cannot handle the big rainstorm. We know that. That's a no-brainer. So it's really the 10 or 12, maybe 20 shovelfuls of dirt to be pushed up to get that water coming out of that pipe to take a left-hand turn instead of going straight into the backyards. That way it goes all the way down, sediment settles down, goes all the way down, across the tracks, over to my other lot on Jonathan Drive, and then into Woods' Pond, my pond now. So I own the town's water. I'm very lucky to have that. So, but that's really the issues, and I've said it at this meeting before, and I've said it at planning board, and I've said it to DPW, I'll put a bag of cement in that pipe, and we'll stop all that problem from Washington Street coming down. I can't do that. I get it. So that's why it should be diverted back into that pipe under my old driveway.
And when Calvin and I were up there Monday,
Ish, yep.
Monday-ish, Tuesday-ish, someone recently has taken a couple of shovelfuls of dirt from this little channel and attempted to divert the water underneath Pleasant Street instead of having it run down through the muck and mire that is these 2 house lots. I was out there today, and I'm sorry I didn't put this on the big screen.
But those few shovelfuls that somebody did cannot handle.
Did you see that? I didn't see that when you and I were out there.
What am I looking at?
That's the second house on the right on Trevor Trail. Behind that machine is a gigantic detention pond. Something that
I saw that and I talked to
that Gallagher put in.
I talked to Gallagher today about that. And there's so much water coming off because of the town water and because of the frost and the snow and everything else. And that water's got to go somewhere. So what he did is he put a pond in.
Yeah.
So the water comes into that, settles, and goes on. Kind of semi-cleans it.
At least it keeps it off the road for
Yeah.
the time being until it rains.
I was going somewhere else. So that's why that pond is there. Another thing is that let's just assume that there was 1.5 foot of top and sub in that area. And I told Joanne, I've lived there forever. I know those woods. And I showed her many places where what it used to be. And if you take 1.5-ish foot of top and sub out of there, everything happens.
You end up with what you've got out there.
So when that top and, when the lots get graded to the plan and the top and sub gets put back on it, the catch basins get put in, the town water gets diverted, I think we're going to eliminate about 95% of our discussion here tonight in our issues.
And I think it all hinges on getting the water coming out of that pipe behind Lot 1 Nashua Street to actually go through the culvert under Pleasant Street.
That can be done in a heartbeat.
Except it's in the wetlands, so it's gonna have to be, I kept talking about an engineered solution the other day when it's...
I can find that solution. I can
Yeah, I
design
know.
that.
So the original pipe you're saying is in the wetlands? So it was put in years and years ago?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Before it's wetlands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before, well, take the town water out of there, we don't have an issue. But it is there.
Well, I would call it just water, right?
Yeah, but I don't want their problem to become my problem, and that's what it has.
You know,
No,
everybody's water is everybody else's.
But you know, if we go up there,
It's draining,
It's
so it's
storm-
draining off the hill.
It's stormwater, no, it's coming out of a pipe.
It's coming out of a stormwater pipe.
all the way from top of Washington,
Yeah,
across Nashua Street on a 2 Taft,
yeah.
down to the end of that lot, goes under the road on Taft Street, down between the, and you can see the ditch, it just goes right down there. Then that pipe gets, like I said, my brother put that pipe in to cure the water problems in the basement, and you wouldn't have to keep cleaning it. Doesn't matter if it goes in a pipe or if it goes in a ditch, same amount of water is still coming out at the end. So now that water was always taking a left-hand turn to go down under Pleasant Street.
Yeah.
Now it's basically going straight, flooding the backyards, causing more water problems. You know, and to divert that water to take a left is not a huge issue. We don't need expensive engineers to say, yeah, you gotta go do this. We put up a wattle, put up some dirt behind it, and I think you get your answer, done.
And
I would at least like to see it put to paper so we have a record. So 20 years from now, when people start messing around back there, you know, we can say this is how it should be.
I don't have a problem with that. I would like, and I agree, I would like to take the current set of plans that are all engineered up on that whole project and come in here and highlight it or whatever, or red line it or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because clearly you can see the swale. Going right down to that pipe, you can see it. Yep.
Anything else?
So would it be an amendment on an order of conditions, and then we just sign it, and then you basically do it, and
I think so. That's what it sounds like to me. What do you think, George?
Or is he changing something, or is he restoring what was messed up?
Restoring what was messed up.
How did it get messed up? Just from the construction?
Oh, no. This was done 20 years ago when there was like a little ATV ring around.
So I'm just wondering, I mean, if you put in what you described, you get a heavy deluge, is it gonna wash away?
Not the way I'm gonna build it, no. I hope.
Sure.
It never did.
It only lasted 20 years before.
No, less forever, but it never did wash away, and the only thing it did was just basically make it deeper from the amount of water coming through. And I mean, there's enough sticks and
I know,
logs.
nobody's been maintaining
No.
that channel by keeping the leaves pulled out of it. And
Well, yeah, leaves degrade and turn into dirt and then fill in channels.
They do.
Over time. so,
they do.
We dug out many years when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't look forward to it every year. It's a long ditch. I mean, it's 500 feet.
Well, so this comes back around to, these are the orders for Riley Jane Farm, of which Trevor Trail is part.
Right.
And these are
the infrastructure order.
These are due to expire in the middle of June.
Yeah, so we got time.
That's what I said to CJ. He said, no, he really would like to just get right on this.
Hopefully, Trevor Trail is going to be done before that expires.
The
But
road
then
work
again,
or the build out.
combination of both.
Okay.
Because we're getting ready to go to town meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that to get to town meeting, we have to complete your orders, we have to do all that other stuff.
Yep.
But all of a sudden, June comes quick. And if they get pulled off that job and go somewhere else, I don't want to be in here on the week before and saying, hey, guys, I got to have this.
Yeah.
I'd rather do it now and have it ready.
Good planning.
See, another thing, too, is that we got an issue with is the order conditions with direct diesel.
Oh gosh, I know. I was out. I was so excited to be outside today. It was beautiful this afternoon. I went to look at the newly broadcast wetland seed mix up in the replication area, and was having a great time talking to Stefan when Mark Sr. drove up and kind of hijacked my meeting. And and then he called Calvin, and so my understanding is that the Gallaghers want to buy the remaining 2 lots at the end of Trevor Trail, which are covered by our orders to Diesel Direct. And they haven't yet purchased them.
Lost the sale, but he wants to buy them, yes.
And he wants an indemnification from someone that would take any liability or responsibility for the tail end of the cleanup and monitoring off of him.
I don't know how that's going to happen, but if I can interject, one of the discussions we're going to have with the attorney on Monday is direct diesel's people are saying, I think I'm correct in this, it's going to take a year or 2 because they have to keep going in there every couple months to check to make sure stuff is growing and
Yep.
trees are growing and all that other stuff.
Yep.
So that order of conditions is in place. How can you sell a house? Can you give a partial? That's the issue. Does direct diesel put up the bond? Does Gallagher put up the bond? That's a huge issue because theoretically, no one's going to buy that if there's an order of conditions on it for the next 3 years. And I get it.
Well, except orders can transfer to a new owner.
If you're a buyer, would you take those on? No.
If I had my own LSP, and as you do, and had checked that to make sure everything was done exactly the way it was done, a bank wouldn't go for that.
That's right. So basically, he's got a foundation and he can't build. I mean, he can't sell. So he's not building. So that's a huge issue that we're starting to talk about huge damages with direct diesel. Never mind the other 9 acres that they've got to mine that's all oil.
What time is your call on Monday?
12 o'clock.
Would it be all right if I was on that call too? Or can I, this is with Jim Marsh?
Yeah.
Or can I talk to him afterwards?
I might just have you in the room. Yeah.
All right.
CJ's office at 12 o'clock. we'll ask him those questions. There might be some other questions that we have about the sewer direct diesel that we might not want you in on, but
Yeah, well, I'm,
just because of attorney-client confidentiality,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all. But as far as those questions, I have no problem with that. I mean, it's a problem.
That's why we don't like oil spills.
As Joanne and I said one day, that's the best of all pollutants. Just because it gets eaten up by the microbes in the soil.
yep. Well,
So that's where we stand. So CJ wants the extension on the order of conditions, and I will get you a map or plan or whatever to like I said, that water's not my problem anymore. It's really Gallagher's.
it is, and he wants nothing to do with
But we know the easy
solving the
fix.
problem.
We know the easy fix and we can take care of that. A part of the fix, and we can take care of that. I get it.
Do we want to have an amendment?
Yeah.
Or do you want to see the plan first
Yeah.
before you decide if it's an amendment?
Yeah,
We got some time here, but just to keep it rolling.
okay.
Oh, right, yeah. No, that's,
Yeah.
sorry, yeah, that's a good thought.
And you know,
What's that?
I've had Mark,
We could see a plan, see if it's an RDA or maybe.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, bring us the plan, we'll
Yeah.
figure out how to make it work.
Cool. The sheriff is in town.
yes, she is.
Okay, everybody?
Yeah,
Glad he came in. Thanks very much, everybody.
good. Thanks, Kelly.
Take care.
So will this be on our agenda next meeting?
Could be.
For the next meeting on the agenda? Is that what you're asking?
Oh, she was asking if CJ's order extension would be on the next
Well,
agenda.
I'll get the plan and then we'll worry about what's gonna be on there.
Okay,
We got a couple more.
all right. good.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Okay. Request for certificate of compliance, lot 3, Orion Drive.
It's still no word, and I didn't actually get around to sending them a letter yet, but it's on the list.
Well, we've gotten a few already, so really, it's good of you to want to send another, but
Okay,
we shouldn't really need to.
Request for certificate of compliance, 25 Robbins Road, 100-73.
So I have 73, 92, and 126. Do you want them all at once, or we're going to do them one at a time?
You do one at a time.
Okay, so here's 73.
And can you you did the site visit?
I did, and let's see if where am I in the slideshow here? I guess I didn't put that in. But it's basically across the street from this. So there's no snow. It's on the inside circle of Robbins Road and Pingree Way, so it's high and dry. There's no sump pump discharge. There's no, it looked just the way I hoped it would look.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. Motion to approve the certificate of compliance for Robbins Road, 25 Robbins Road, DB 100-73.
So moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
So these are all just partial certificates, since we had no idea what the work was.
Right. 25 Robbins Road, 100-92. Motion to approve this one?
So moved. So it's
Second.
sorry, partial, so, and then,
They're all partials.
oh, they're all partials, okay. Okay. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
There's one more.
Okay. Certificate of compliance, 25 Robbins Road, 100-126. Motion approved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. Brings us to the wonderful world of wetlands protection bylaw.
Oh, I'm gonna run and get some more water. I'll be right back. Okay, be that way.
So I have been making progress, made progress.
You need to sign this
I need to sign this.
before you make any more progress.
Thank you. Alrighty. Okay.
Thank you.
So great. All right, so what you have before you is a current draft.
Wow, that's great.
What? And what else?
The what? Oh, and then the second document is, I tried to chart the changes I was making in each section or the things I was messing with. So, this is by no means final. Groton has a really nice preamble to their bylaw where they describe their general wetland situation, which I think I might try to do a version of for ourselves. But I haven't done that yet. I have, let's see, widely consulted other towns. Little changes they've made, they're big changes. And so, okay. So, how do you want to do this? Let me just give you, what I probably should do is just give you a good overview tonight, and then take it home and cogitate and comment, and then we can proceed from there. Are you ready?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Here, now we're ready.
Section 1, purpose. Some of the things I did do that I incorporated things we had done in 2017. So we had added protection of open space as part of our purpose. So I added that. Generally throughout, when they talk about significant or cumulative effects or impacts, I'm copying several other towns where they throw in that little word adverse. And so, got that in. Obviously I deleted a few things. We had in one of our versions, down below, second from the last line of the first paragraph, recreation and aesthetic values. Groton adds that. It's also in our current bylaw, aesthetic values. And Mark, you had suggested deleting recreation values.
You did?
In those little things you put, okay, delete.
Okay. I'll put it back in there.
Okay, the second paragraph, I decided to stick with the MACC version, but Harvard uses a leaner version, and in my little charting changes, you can see what that would look like. But I think we're just as safe just sticking with the MACC version there. Next section on jurisdiction. One of the things in the MACC version is they had under permits and conditions, I think it was. They had these long paragraphs on buffer zone and riverfront and vernal pools. And it really didn't seem like that was the right place to me. Because suddenly, they're talking about orders and permits, and then they're suddenly going on about how we presume the buffer zone is important, or we presume the riverfront is important. It's the wrong place. So I actually, these paragraphs that are in red here are ones that I moved from the MACC's version of orders and permits. I moved up to here. And instead of just calling this jurisdiction, several towns have sections on presumptions. So jurisdiction and presumptions, it covers both. But it also puts in here highlighting that, yeah, we are considering the buffer zone important.
Good.
It's not just a word up in this, up in the line here.
Yeah.
It's a paragraph. And in the first paragraph on buffer zones, the first red paragraph, the little piece in blue, I threw that in myself. I don't know if it makes sense to talk about adverse impacts also being changes to hydrological or stormwater flow patterns, as for example Calvin just recently illustrated.
I'm glad you put that in there because I actually was going to mention that tonight. Yeah, because I saw some recent predictive charts based on expected rainfall in the northeast area. So these are just predictions based on global warming, if you will, right?
Yeah.
And weather patterns and increased rainfall. So we are going to be.
Yeah. No, I went to the MAC section on incorporating climate change resiliency for municipal infrastructure into your bylaw and regulations.
Right.
And I think that is something we would also can put in more performance standards and regulations.
Yep.
I actually been thinking, and I haven't seen any examples where people have used that language in their actual bylaw. I think it would be a mistake to put it in the bylaw because climate change is such a political.
But you put it in. But not climate, but no. I think significant change in hydrological or stormwater flow patterns. That will be due to increased rainfall. Right.
We don't want to just have.
No,
you don't want to.
There's no definition to it. Right. But it's
and you don't want to, and we're not getting into whether it's man-made caused or human-made versus weather's changing, and municipal infrastructures need to be able to deal with it.
Right. And it's clearly stating it. Yeah.
Massachusetts never used to have tornadoes. As an example. Okay. So.
No, good.
Okay. And I also under jurisdiction, the first paragraph, I threw in ACEC. And that's that section in red.
Yep.
Just to mention it. Granted, it's just stating that that's also one of our concerns, although extra permitting is through the state for that, but it doesn't hurt to highlight we do have ACECs.
No, that's nice because that may tie in with Mark the Planner's Pettapawag Overlay District, which is going to cover the ACEC situation.
Okay. And then I did add, I believe, any activity. Oh, okay. It's not in red, but just before section 3, the paragraph that begins any activity proposed or undertaken is not in the MACC version. It is in the town of Carlisle. And I just, you can, it just extends, not regulation, but it extends a thing of if you are doing something uphill and it's all flowing down into resource areas, even if you're out of the buffer zone, you could get into trouble. So just, well, we would do an enforcement order. That, you're impacting wetlands by what you're letting get off your property here. Just, yeah, so think about it. Don't have to have that in there, but it's a Carlisle had a nice version of it. And, okay, exemptions and exceptions. The second paragraph, as we had discussed in 2017, we added sewerage and stormwater management. Then I just sort of keep thinking, why do none of the towns have sewer and stormwater in that list? And I'm just wondering if maybe the reason is that sewer work would be more impactful. And so maybe that wouldn't want to be an exemption, that we want that to go through an NOI process.
That means that DPW would have to file the NOI?
Yeah, I mean that, well, let's say if you were doing, say, some maintenance on a water pipe.
Right.
And the pipe burst.
Right.
You've got fresh water running around.
Yeah.
But if you're doing maintenance on a sewer pipe.
Yeah.
And without proper.
Yeah.
Without.
Right.
And it burst, it's like.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
George,
Sewer.
we had suggested this a few years ago.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think? So think about it.
Yeah.
There is something in the regulations that calls out the utilities of gas, electricity, and water
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah.
And it doesn't include sewer or stormwater in that part of the regulations. But I wonder why.
Yeah. What does Groton's bylaw have?
None of them have sewer
Oh,
and stormwater.
Groton doesn't have it? Okay.
Well, and Groton doesn't have much sewer of its
Yeah.
own.
Okay.
They have a
Right,
teeny
right.
piece that comes here and
Yeah.
a teeny piece that goes to Pepperell.
Right, but not
Yeah.
town-wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I really didn't see that in anybody's. So then that made me wonder, well, is there a good reason for it?
Yeah.
So to question. So I made some of the edits that we did in 2017 in this. I'm not recommending this, but Andover did have an additional paragraph that, and I actually wouldn't recommend this, but an exemption for work on single-family or two-family houses. But I think we could open ourselves up to trouble there. So I just put it in there, consideration. Then, this last paragraph on page 2, I added, and tried to emulate some of the wording. One of the things we had a lot of comments on back 2 years ago, and Mark, you'll remember this, was, you mean I have to go before you if I want to dig up a bush in my backyard?
Right.
And
That's a minor project, not a limited
minor
project.
activity.
Minor, yeah.
Well, no, this covers both limited and then minor.
Okay.
So I mean, that line about limited I got from some other town, but I'd like to add in addition, and it's specified in our regulations, we might hold minor activities, and I guess that wouldn't be within the buffer riverfront. I don't think we can do that. as exempt from the application and permitting process. But I threw in the caveat that activities that have an extended duration of more extended duration of disturbance, or greater impact and that pose a clear and significant risk might be subject to enforcement. And it is for this reason that an informal assessment by the conservation administrator or commission is recommended where questions exist.
I think that's some of the idea then behind what like Ayer was talking about. And I think that's where I was going. Some of the stuff that I had already sent you is that,
Yeah.
you know,
And
I wouldn't be in favor of making those kinds of restrictions on a single family home in a lot of instances, you know,
Like
a resident. Oh, we were just talking about, like you said, the bush and stuff, right?
right.
So,
Here's-
I mean,
this
you're
is-
leaving it very open,
Yeah.
and I think it just, you know, again,
And we can
creates a
spell
lot of
things.
angst.
Yeah, and we can spell things out in our regulations, but here's the two-page thing of what are the minor activities that the state regulations you know,
Okay.
Goes on and
include
on.
vista pruning and all this,
I
and
know.
things that they consider.
Yeah,
um,
yeah, right, yeah.
So, pass that out. There is, I have to find where I found this, but there is also one of the bylaws has a potential version where they talk about distinguishing between activities that need review, activities that don't, you know, I mean,
Yeah.
it might be useful, but in any case, I think based on the town response we had before, something in our bylaw that acknowledged limited projects as well as minor activities would be reassuring.
Right.
Right. So like on Snake Hill Road, there was that one house where they were replacing their lawn. This is, they
Right.
cut all the trees
down,
and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
And where they got into trouble with us was they had a huge pile of dirt, like 5 feet high or so, without any protection. And
Right.
that's where I was thinking
Right.
about limited or greater duration of time.
Right.
Whereas if somebody gets a pile of dirt delivered, and they
Right.
spread it that day
Right.
or the next day, and there's
Right,
no
right.
rain in the forecast.
Right.
it's-
And then a storm drain that goes right directly into Sandy Pond.
Yeah, I mean, so it's something
Yeah,
to
just-
discuss. I mean,
yeah.
we can, that's, the details of that we
Yeah.
can talk about in regulations.
Right.
But,
And so in that situation, what, the dirt was in the buffer zone already? I guess I don't know.
yeah, it was in buffer zone, and it
okay.
didn't have any protections around it. And if we had a cloud buster or whatever,
Yeah.
then potentially that could have sent a flow across the road into Sandy Pond.
Yep.
So, but, you know, if it was a pile like that and somebody was, like,
Yeah.
a neighbor up on Wright Road got a huge pile of dirt, and it's like, by that night it was gone. It was all
Spread out.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's
Yeah.
duration too, but,
Yeah.
so I don't know.
Yeah.
George? Okay, so that gives you that, and then, applications and fees, we had decided, and I still think it's not the time to ask for local filing fees in addition to what we already get from the Wetland Protection Act. But I did throw in a line that reserved the right to, in the future, to impose an additional fee.
Can a local fee be defined as something larger than, larger than X? If it's a single family house, no, but if it's a
Yeah, well,
big
there's,
development,
one,
yes.
one town has like a single family home, I think a local, or an RDA, local filing fee is $50, and then an NOI is 100, and if it's a development, it goes much higher.
Right.
But I think that, at the moment, we, just a couple of years from getting a full-time position, and I just don't think it's the right time. But it could be down the road we
Yeah.
might, so, there's no more.
You mean amend down the road?
No, we do that through regulations.
Oh, through okay.
But I'm putting in here that we
Okay.
reserve the right through regulations to do that.
Oh, right, reserve the right.
In the future.
Yep,
Okay.
okay.
And I just edited the MACC version on outside consultants to not just aid in reviewing, but also monitoring, since we have had Paul do that. And I just broke up one paragraph that had started with paying filing fees and then started into outside consultants, and then the next 4 paragraphs are outside consultants. I just separated that paragraph, so outside consultants is separate from any other paragraph. And you can all read this tonight. Just going to bed, trying to sleep. Notice and hearings. One of the big differences here from the Wetland Protection Act is notifying the butters within 300 feet, which works to residents, nearby residents' benefit. So. Somebody else had in a line which I liked, excluded from the notification process specifically are extensions and requests for COCs. And in 2017, we had played with an alternative wording that we had come up with. The notice to abutters shall contain the same information as the notice to abutters provided by the Conservation Commission and I don't know if we want to add a level of complexity or just go with the more general. So think about it. And Groton added something about request for determination of applicability, but I don't know if we need something like that. Anyway, you can look back and forth and see if you like any of the alternatives presented here. And I added, that we can continue a hearing for many reasons, including not just comments and recommendations from boards and officials, but also from abutters and concerned residents and consultants. Just because I think sometimes questions can arise. And I threw in, I don't know if this is necessary, but on the last paragraph in that section, we sometimes have held up on issuing our orders if we're waiting for an NHESP permit and those, so just pending confirmed receipt of other forthcoming state permits. Coordination with other boards. We don't have an agricultural commission, so I got rid of that, but we do have a town planner. But in our town, it's just as important to include the DPW. And now we have this Office of Community and Economic Development, which they sometimes have Alan has. So just to include them in. But I was considering that if we want to consider rewording this a little so that instead of an applicant having to notify all these other boards, many of whom wouldn't care or have anything to say, that is actually something done on the advice of our administrator or telling that us. Because otherwise it's a lot of paper going around too. Like some things it might be important to have a Board of Health feedback, but others it's important to have DPW and town engineer. So just not to do a broadside that looks burdensome, and particularly if you had a single residential project, like backyard deck, that's putting way too much on. So I did say, so I did in the, on my charting changes thing, I do have a rewording. Any person filing a permit application, RDA or ANRAD with the commission shall, at the request of the conservation administrator, I could put or commission, provide a copy thereof at the same time by sort of remove it to any of the following, or something that gives a caveat.
Yeah.
And I also was just wondering on the issue of requiring applicants to provide a copy by certified mail. Doesn't Carly for the zoning board do copies and?
So she requests department head review
Yeah.
of all zoning board applications. I have 2 sitting on my desk right now. And the building department has a form that gets attached to the building permit application that the applicant has to take to all department heads, including DPW. So they physically walk this thing to each of us, and then we sign.
Okay, so if we, so think about a procedure that might work for us that was streamlined so it wasn't like across the board, but.
So anything that requires orders from us and a building permit is already going around to all the department heads.
Right.
Okay. So, okay, so just, so not to talk about it more now, but think about it and see how that, see procedurally how you feel about that.
Okay.
But you're suggesting an RDA and a ANRAD would go around as well?
That might be,
Not, right, an NOI would go around.
yeah,
No? No?
no, this was the MACC version that we, any person filing a permit application. And I think that's just a little bit too, that could go too far. Because I really don't think somebody doing a backyard deck like you did.
Right, that's, I mean, an RDA is,
Yeah,
but if it's an NOI that requires,
right. So just not to decide now,
Yeah.
but just to
yeah,
cogitate on that a
yeah,
bit.
okay.
Permits and conditions, so what I put in here is how I tweaked it. So this is where I moved some paragraphs out of the MACC's version into the front. And in blue I have a potential add-in from, I think it was, I think this was Harvard. Might not have tracked everything perfectly, but at any rate, in the middle of that page where I have in red, MACC version talks about requiring a wildlife habitat study paid for by applicant and all that. And regardless of the type of resource area, I thought, based on our experience with the woods by Shaker Mill Pond, I don't know if we want to say, it doesn't really matter to us if it's old growth or it's new trees from the past 30, 40 years, if it's natural vegetation. I don't know. See what you think. And almost done with what I'm going to do tonight. Yeah, I think the things I put in blue are things that could come or go. But you all have your copies of the original MACC. So you can go back and forth and look and see if you like improvements or not. Or think they're deprovements. Degradations. And regulations. I played around with the very last line. The MACC last line says, at a minimum, these regulations shall reiterate the terms defined in this bylaw, define additional terms that are consistent with the bylaw, and impose filing and consultant fees. maybe we could bury that in there, but I was thinking at a minimum our regulations should define it, should establish procedures, design specifications, performance standards, and other measures and safeguards. So, and maybe set filing fees.
So here's a question. Until we have our own regulations, can we use our new bylaw and the state's regulations?
I wouldn't think so. Well, but the state's regulations apply, don't they, under the state? So, yeah, I mean, actually we could.
And they don't go away.
Yeah.
That's good, because I don't see
Yeah.
us being able to do comprehensive regulations
No.
quickly. So that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are a lot of really good examples out there. Some have 3 pages, some are longer. But, yeah, one of the
Okay.
things that Eugene Benson, who used to be the director of MACC, in an email to Brian had said, what you want in your bylaw is, it has to be stricter. You don't want to put in details, like you're 25 foot for this or 50 foot for that. You do that in regulations. And then you want to consider what will actually pass in your town.
Exactly,
Right.
right. You don't want to
So-
make it too stringent.
Right, yeah. On that note, you might notice in the very beginning under jurisdiction, we had gone back and forth on intermittent streams, giving them the 100 foot and then the 200 foot, and we've gone to the 200 foot. Then we got feedback from residents and Mark Wetzel saying, that's burdensome.
Yeah.
And then we'd gone back to the 100 foot for that, and so I stuck with that. So,
Yeah, I think that's fine.
okay. Okay, so regulations, definitions, I liked the format that Littleton used, or no, Groton used, instead of the format that LACC used, which was a little more, didn't pop visually. But ones I added would be abbreviated notice of resource area delineation, a butter,
Good.
adjacent upland, and these are borrowed Harvard, Groton, and others. Adjacent upland resource area alters the state, put in ACEC. Put in notice of intent, put in RDA, and then on vernal pool, that's the MACC version, but in my start and changes thing, you can take a look at Groton's version. Also, I think I like the MACC version better, but security just did one little embellishment, copying Groton. Enforcement, instead of just calling it enforcement, I called it enforcement : site inspections, because one of the things we always go looking for is where is that section on entering people's property. So, okay, let's just label it's in this section. And first paragraph, no person shall remove, fill, dredge, build upon, degrade, discharge into the left out. I added in without required authorization from the commission. Just makes it clear. And basically the entering land is the Wetland Protection Act. Sudbury, I see on my other document, Sudbury has a version where they say, a little bit more nicely, where it deems it necessary to enter privately owned land, it shall do so with the authority of the property owner and shall be subject to the limitations imposed by the applicable federal and state laws. So I could try to incorporate some of that language into the MACC's version, just to, strengthen that we would try to get permission, you would seek permission, but you'd be limited. So, okay, so I'll play with that. And almost done with the here. Carlisle adds his provision about dealing with people who purchase, inherit, or otherwise acquire real estate. I didn't put that in, but I don't know if that's something you want to consider, but you can take a look at that paragraph. Burden of proof, nothing, appeals, nothing in relation to, So basically that's it, so you guys should go read it before bed.
Have our comments to you by breakfast.
And the very next meeting.
This is
And-
great.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we can, maybe focus out on another meeting or two, and then talk about, seeing if we can get added to the mailing for solutions.
So with that, they do it through an outside company, and they do it one section of town at a time. So it takes, it takes a long time to cycle through the sections, and it only goes to property owners, not renters. Yeah.
Would it be worth having the postcard mailing? Using the town clerk's census?
Talk about it.
To announce when we have some public hearings on this. So, okay.
Well, the other thing that gets a lot of eyeballs on it is Cindy's social media situation. She does Twitter and Facebook. So, not everybody sees that. I don't do Facebook anymore. I'm so mad at them. But there are probably lots of ways to get the word out. The sewer bills and water bills didn't seem like that was gonna work for our purposes.
See, I think last time we did it with the census, but that was a different time of year. So.
Yeah. I can ask the town clerk what else there is in town that might go out. That we could piggyback on.
Okay, that give you enough to chew on.
Okay, conservation officer
Updates. Oil spill cleanup, we kind of touched on that a little bit. This is what it looked like out there this afternoon, taking a picture into the sun, so it's a little hazy and washed out. But you can see our new plants, you can see the new channel that's formed down. This is just standing on the wetland crossing, looking south towards Washington Street. It looks good.
Much drier.
Well, and that's kind of a problem actually, and I'll get to that in just a second.
It's gonna change.
So this is a seed. This is This is a seed.
Oh, yeah.
They spread 20 pounds of wetland plant mix throughout that whole wetland area today. And they figured that seed cost about $1,000.
20 pounds.
For 20 pounds. Yeah. Yep. But here's another seed. This
Wow.
is very exciting
See a lot.
to see them.
Do you know what the number of species
I have
in
the,
the
yep,
mix?
I have the list.
Yeah,
Yep, it's a New England wetland.
yeah, is it
Plant
pretty
mix.
expensive?
Yeah,
Yeah?
it is. Yep.
Oh, good, all right,
I can see if I can bring that.
okay, well. it
Are there
needs to
many
be
places
wet
that-
For them to germinate.
That sell that? Or is it like
No,
fairly
it's
unique?
super specialized,
Okay.
as you could
'Cause
imagine.
there was a table at the MACC. I picked up his price list.
Yeah, and it was
And
probably New England wetland plants out in Amherst.
Amherst,
possibly,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
So this little mess, I parked my car and walked to the wetland crossing, and what do I see but two guys with Seal Harbor t-shirts on, standing in these muddy footprints with each one of them had a shovel, and they were digging out stone that had been spilled over the edge of the wetland crossing, crushed stone. I said, "What are you doing? And please get out of my brook." "Oh, well, we're just digging the stone out so that the water will flow better." I said, "Well, the water will come through the stone just fine, and you're making a horrible mess. This is all muddy water that they had churned up from stomping around down there." Come to find out that Mark Gallagher Sr. asked them to do that, to get in the brook and shovel the stone out. In talking with Stefan for a long time this afternoon, he is concerned that when they put the pipe in underneath their temporary crossing,
Who's they?
Seal Harbor, the Gallaghers, that they put it in such a way that it's lower on the up gradient side than the original level of the brook, so that it's literally sucking the water out of our wetland. And
They put it in already?
the temporary crossing has been in for months, couple of months. And the width of this down gradient part of the stream and this banking that is evolving here, in Stefan's opinion, is because there's more water coming under that crossing than there was before they put the pipe in. And this, of course, is a superseding order with DEP. So, if you think it's reasonable, I will call Denise tomorrow and say, it really is just time for you to come up here
Yeah,
and get this squared away.
Yeah, because they should know that.
Changing the hydraulics like that is a major deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she needs to take a look at that.
Yeah, even though this is just the temporary one, Stefan is worried that the water is going to be so low that our new plants are not going to be happy, and that this $1,000 worth of seed isn't going to be wet enough.
So it's the temporary that's got to be lower on the up gradient side than the original level.
Yeah,
And we don't want them to replicate that for the permanent.
right.
Call Denise.
Yeah.
When are they going to be doing the permanent?
I don't know. As Calvin said, DNISE, there seems to be a delay in starting the house, that they have the foundation already poured for lot 7 because of the complication with Diesel Direct's orders on that property. So, I don't know. I'm hoping that on the plans that there are some elevations specified for the permanent pipe. But I don't know, these stakes right here and down here were put in by Omni to help gauge the sediment that may or may not be building up in this channel. You know, clearly this is a component of the wetland soil that's washing down. This darker stuff is the organic component, and you can't see the mineral component because it's obscured by this muddy water. But yeah, there's.
Was on the right-hand side, was that kind of remediated? Is that a remediated area?
This is an area that was dug out as part of putting the wetland crossing in to see if any remediation was necessary, and it wasn't.
Oh, okay.
This is a giant soil pile that 2 weeks ago they put some protection in.
That's because you called.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the oil spill. I got an email from Al Futterman about this possible new land donation. This may look familiar to you.
Oh, the Slarsky thing?
Yeah. So Mr. Slarsky, I guess, contacted the Watershed Association to see about donating this somehow, and Al said, I think it would make sense for Ayer to take this, since it abuts Ayer, land that Ayer already owns. And then he wrote back later to say, oh yes, I guess this already was offered once upon a time.
And I think it got shelved for a while just because we got overwhelmed with other stuff.
Yeah.
Where is this? It doesn't.
Behind the
West
fire
Main,
station.
West Main?
So the fire station is right here.
Okay. Thank you.
Church, the Catholic church is right
Yeah.
there.
The railroad.
Right there, the railroad
This
is.
is the railroad here.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then,
Yeah. Yeah, I was wondering about that. I know there's like a path right there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I did a little while ago walk out on this. It really is quite lovely.
yeah, there's a path there too?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I never noticed that.
Oh.
Okay.
Really? Could you walk that path and then,
Take a right.
well, the brook,
It's pretty wet.
the brook, yeah, the non-Aquatious brook is
Yep.
there.
But maybe down the road, maybe Brian had been thinking of like taking his master plan was to get the DPW's land there as well. And do a walking path.
So walking path around.
Yeah, but maybe in some future that could be a
Mhm.
possibility, but I wouldn't have any problem with taking the Slarsky property.
Why did we, so we didn't do it before because we didn't have time? I think to,
Yeah, well, there was one person who was opposed to it. So we never really finalized it.
oh, okay, okay.
Former chair.
Not the current chair.
Bird chair.
Who's that?
Well, I haven't walked it to see how value we have to the town. Just in general principle, I don't think we should be making people small pointed off it because they can't profit on it.
Valid point.
If we can find a use for it.
Well, eventually,
Well,
like,
yeah,
how use.
or anticipated in the
Fill it in.
eventual future usefulness. It's like,
And then fill it in and then sell it.
Well, you know, it may become important flood storage for
Yeah,
downtown.
oh, definitely.
Or something.
Mhm. It's educational.
Yeah.
Have kids go out there and collect samples and test for PCBs and stuff. No, just kidding.
Oh, speaking of water samples and testing, I've signed up for the training with the Watershed Association to become a sample taker.
So you told it, that's in our minutes.
Yeah, well, I'm excited about that. It's next week, this coming week. And I want to sample where the Nonocotius joins the Nashua, but I don't know where I will be assigned.
So we have time, why don't we go there on the 6th?
Yeah.
Oh, to Slarsky.
Yeah.
Make a day of it.
Then we can go across the street to Capri and get apple turnover.
Okay,
They
moving
good?
along.
Everything there is good.
So should we put that on our agenda for the next time then too?
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to call Mr. Slarsky and ask him if we can go on his land. Do we know him?
Yeah.
No? Okay.
We
Well,
met him once. Sort of seemed nice enough.
okay.
I thought it was aging memories, George. I know what you mean.
Good memories, they're just short. So zooming through this list here, the Ayer Green Residences Board of Selectmen meeting was last night. And Bonnie and Jess and I were there, and I was not expecting to have to speak to the Board of Selectmen, and yet I did, and Bonnie saved the day by reminding me to not forget the ACEC part of my comments. And the long and short of it is the Board of Selectmen are supporting the friendly 40B local initiative process instead of the unfriendly non-local process. So more on that to come.
I believe on that, the salient points for us would be if it goes through, has to go through several months of engineering, then it goes to the state, and then it gets approved by the state, then they go for a comprehensive permit with the zoning board. That it's, so they don't have to go through planning and all that, everything else. But I believe they still have to go through conservation separately.
yeah.
For order of conditions,
Yep.
because the Wetland Protection Act still stands. And it doesn't matter if we have a local bylaw or not, it wouldn't count in the 40B.
Right, it's one of those local things that gets swept aside.
So,
George came into the office on Tuesday night to mayhem. It was in the middle of a meeting about the database with the programmer and our IT person when a really interesting man came in and needed to look at some maps, and but it was a little chaotic there for a few minutes. The database, we should have an estimate as to how much it would cost to build this thing pretty soon. And the programmer is just, she's now an expert on our forms. She knows more about our forms than I do. So that will be interesting to see how that turns out. I submitted our town meeting warrant article for the weed treatment with the $30,000 figure to Robert. And I also submitted the ponds contract with the change from a 30-day payable to a 60-day payable to Robert. We're all up to date with Trevor Trail and CJ's extension.
so what's the time frame on the ponds contract? going to Solitude?
I sent it to Robert and now it's in his, he has to sign it, so it's in his ballpark. And if I don't hear from him by the middle of the week, I will follow up with him on that. Do you want to talk about the Balch Pond Dam letter?
No, I did do a draft of the Balch Pond letter but it really is not our jurisdiction, and I said before we proceed with something like that, I'd rather check in with Mark Wetzel so we're not creating a situation. Given DPW is already underwater with PFAS.
Yep.
PFAS and other things.
Yeah.
So just to see if it would be helpful to them or not.
So I can call and ask him that, unless you want to call and ask him that.
We could both. What I also want to do with him is just give him my current draft now of the bylaw, just to see if he has any input too. So I could do that at the same time.
Okay, well, why don't we put that on your list?
And the letter would be going to
Board of Selectmen.
Board of Selectmen.
Yeah, did you have a chance to read it, George? No. It's a beautifully written letter that isn't going to move anything forward, I don't think, and may actually do some damage. And we don't want that to happen.
Has anybody been over the bridge, the culvert, where you drive over on 2A? Have you driven over?
Oh, I do.
Going into town?
I do every day.
Have you noticed anything different?
Yeah, those little depressions seem like they're getting deeper.
They are.
Is this on West Main Street?
No, down here, out here by actual Balch Pond Dam coming into town.
So what does that say?
There's
Something happening underneath the road.
So I'll talk to Mark about, because I think if it would be helpful if he did something that could help the DPW with the Board of Selectmen or something, it'd be all. But if it's gonna create a problem, then.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna notice it because it's gonna get worse. So.
Oh, I know.
And something will eventually let go.
I'll have to check those out.
It's really interesting how flexible pavement is, though it hasn't cracked yet.
No, but it's like a.
Yeah, there are two of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so that's that. I walked up to the library the other day and gave them some of the books that Jesse Caney had brought us, the Field Guide to Animals of Vernal Pools and Invasive Plants of Massachusetts and the Little Critter Field Guide. And a copy of the open space report because patrons have been asking if there was a copy of it at the library.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And the director comes to library work by way of a CR monitoring background with the trustees of reservations. So he's very environmentally minded and has tasked one of his librarians with doing more education and outreach along the Let's Get Kids Outdoors line, and he would be very open to doing programming with us.
That's part on your list, right?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So, in that line, if we wanted to make a gentle start, two guys from Attleboro or something like that gave a thing on educational programs they do with the schools at the MACC conference, and they had some really cool stuff. So if one were putting together something, they might be a resource too.
Okay.
I mean, they do a thing through a school year now, but at least one should start small.
Yeah. Well, I I used to work for Mass Audubon doing
Mm-hmm.
environmental ed stuff, and I would be happy to go up to the library and do just a little something in the children's room,
Yeah.
just as a place to start. That would be very fun.
Yeah.
At the MACC, they were describing how they were creating, like using a soda bottle turned upside down with the top and,
A little tornado.
well, or putting in different materials, stone, sand, all that stuff, and then showing how filtering
Oh, yeah.
dirty, and the kids got into that. So
Cool.
you can see the actual effects of
Oh, yeah, the messier the better. Yeah. Good. All right, well, so I feel like we've opened a really positive dialogue up there.
It's good.
Yeah. So we have some possible violations on the horizon?
What has George been doing now?
And
Well, he's apparently been clearing the lot right on the Harvard Air line. I drove by it the other day and said, wow, that doesn't look right. What happened?
Where's this?
This is the gas station
The Exxon,
on Harvard.
across the street from where
On
the
Harvard Road. And here's
other gas station will go.
Yeah, right across from the other gas station.
Wait, entering air
Yeah.
from Harvard?
So
Yeah.
where that gas station's gonna go?
It would be.
Yeah, and it's on the other side of
On
the road.
the other
though.
Oh, that's
yeah.
right. They did clear that big parcel there.
And it's all right here. It's in a big pile,
Yeah.
right here.
Oh, so that's the current gas
Right.
station. Okay, so
Yep. And the little intermittent brook that comes down into the Global Montello
Yeah.
is right here. And they've cleared right down to the brook.
who's done it?
Somebody who lives in Still River, whose name is Clinton Parmenter Jr.
Well, what's he doing it?
I don't know.
Does he own it?
Yes, as 29 Harvard Road LLC. He is the owner. I don't know. I honestly don't know who cleared it, but he is the owner.
So the stream is at Harvard.
Hard to tell. It's hard to tell. It's in air when it crosses the street.
Should talk to the Harvard Conservation
Yeah.
Commission too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I can find out what Liz, she might not even get over this way very often, maybe she doesn't know. Should at a minimum a violation notice?
Let me drive by.
Okay,
And you contact Harvard.
yep. And this, I'm gonna get the house numbers wrong. This is probably 14 Robbins Road. And one of their neighbors called to say that he heard them clearing trees behind their house, and Bennett's Brook is right about at this line here.
Is that lot we looked at before?
So I also have the name of this homeowner, and you can't really see much more than this. This was fairly early in the morning, so there are a lot of shadows down in there. But I certainly wasn't gonna get out and walk down.
So, private property,
Exactly.
constitutional rights.
Absolutely. So that's something to think about too. Maybe we can talk about these on Tuesday topics.
Okay.
Yes. And that's all I have for updates.
Member updates, yes? Nope. Mike? Mark?
Whatever happened with the, trying to find out about the land under the water?
Oh, that's
Or that
in,
property.
that's in process.
It is
It's
in
in
process,
Robert's hands.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wasn't, if we had any update, I was wondering.
No, not yet.
Okay. Thanks.
Committee updates? CPC?
We meet next week. Having the public hearing on 2 applications from Calvin for more money for the old firehouse.
Okay.
Come one, come all.
So there was one item left from last meeting, which was the Stormwater Committee.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
Did you read about that in their minutes?
Now I'm remembering. Yes, I read about that in the minutes and I said, huh. Why was I? What was, why, I guess the absentee
That's right. You're
member
in.
gets put on the list.
But were you supposed to be on it a few years ago, and then nothing, and then it died for a while?
That was like Pond and Dam, wasn't it?
No, that was Bill. Nice try.
Well, what would it require?
We don't really know beyond a monthly evening meeting. If there are citizens on the committee who can't meet during the day, if it's staff, then the committee would meet during the day. So I potentially could be on it.
Day meetings?
And I would be willing to be on it. I'd be actually happy to be on it and have it be a day meeting. I'm not sure I could do another evening meeting.
So it would be an evening meeting roughly once a month?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't do day meetings,
Right.
obviously, right? But
Right.
I mean, I could do an evening meeting. But I think the other question is like how much involvement outside of the meeting would it require?
Well, and that's a question for Mark Wetzel.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I don't really know.
Yeah,
And it's really an advisory committee, so
yeah,
I can't imagine there'd be much of it.
yeah.
Once it's, it's an initial rush, I can't see that you didn't meet once a month.
Initial rush of
Quarterly?
what?
Yeah.
The initial rush of what?
Getting things.
Getting things together and making your recommendations on how the whole thing should be set up.
Okay.
Once it's up and running.
Yeah.
Think of it like, an initial downpour of rain, and then it hits the retention basin, then slowly filters down,
Yeah.
infiltrates, and then
Yeah.
settles into
And
the
then I
river.
would be able to make recommendations from our commission?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll be fine. Yeah, but as long as I meet at night,
Yeah.
not during the day.
Okay. What would be the earliest time you could be at a meeting?
Available,
Mm-hmm.
probably 6 o'clock.
Okay.
6 is early.
Yeah, I get off the train at like 5:35 and then I could, run home, get something to eat and then come back in.
Okay.
We want to hold on to that stuff.
I know.
Yeah, you can stop here and pick up
Yeah,
some.
probably in a closet somewhere with Bonnie's food
Yeah.
bag,
A
right?
little locker.
Yeah, locker. Yeah, don't touch these snacks.
Maybe just ask Wetzel to bring some.
Yeah.
Or maybe have meetings at, at Osawa or something.
There you go.
Local restaurants. Yeah, good idea.
Rotary has the right
Everyone
idea,
wins.
right? Rotary, don't they always meet at a restaurant? With all the Rotaries that you ever see?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, if there's nothing else, then our next item is executive session. pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 38, and Section 21A, exemption number 6, to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property, which we are going to hold. I think necessary because open session would adversely affect any negotiations.
So I make a motion to consider the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. If the chair, given that you declared that it might have a detrimental effect, I make that motion. What? Oh, to go into executive session
Yeah.
for the purpose of considering the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property.
And to return.
And to return to open session for the purpose of adjourning, only for the sole purpose of adjourning.
I'll second that.
Mark?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
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 Jess?
Aye.
I vote aye. We're in executive session.